a free-for-all, your source for all things geek. I'm your host, Evan Swafford. With me, as always, Josh Barnett.
Meep, meep.
Trey Elliott.
Yo.
Josh Barnett.
Meep!
I thought I could throw him off. Chuck Nally.
Negativity. Nega.
Nega. How you guys doing?
Your chair farts. Your chair farts hard. Not when you wanted to.
Nope, it wouldn't. Now I just look stupid. Well, that's how I'm doing. Let's jump right into it. What we watching? A lot. We're basically wrapping down the TV season here. The next couple months, we're just basically playing catch up.
Most people wrap up.
That's
Someone
true.
say ketchup?
Fuck those guys.
Right? What?
I heard someone say ketchup.
Oh god.
I got excited.
But there is some new stuff. We'll talk about some of that. We'll start off with that. We got some premieres. Let's start with. First off, let me ask: Did everyone start Luke Cage? I know you're not watching.
One half of the first episode.
Okay. Is that one? Do you think we will watch before
Probably.
next show?
It's next on the priority list.
Okay. Then let's just not even worry about first impression and just talk about it next time. So let's talk about Take Two.
Okay.
Go ahead, Trey. Get it out of the way now.
Joint. This is from the producers or the creators of Castle. This is a Rachel Bilson vehicle.
Goddamn right it is.
Which gives Trey a head start on this show already. She plays a disgraced TV cop actress that tries to come back, and she does a ride along with a private detective for a role, and Xanadu ensues. I don't even know.
I have to know. You searched for the unedited version of that video, didn't you? Just in case.
Oh, no, I didn't. I
It's
didn't
not
think about
that
that until
sad.
just now.
Damn.
Rachel Bilson's hot, dude.
Yeah, you type in Rachel Bilson hot in Google image search, and it is.
All right, she is an attractive
I mean,
woman.
that's Lou from Chuck.
That's a good time.
Yeah,
I
it's
know who
Lou.
she is, but I never typed in hot
This
after her
show
name before.
It's
That's not
generic
right.
as fuck.
Oh no, it's hot. It's hot garbage.
I do
It
not.
is straight
I
up Castle.
do not like it, and I know
Like
that I'm going to get shit for
100%.
that. I ended up hating Castle in the final season, but I liked it at the beginning. I think I've outgrown this formula, maybe.
I never
don't
liked-
I
know.
have not.
I didn't love Castle, but I did see some of Castle, and I disagree. What I saw of Castle, and not of a Castle fan, I thought was miles better than what I saw.
You
here.
also
I mean, in
probably
terms of
saw-
this is literally the same plot as
It's the
Castle.
formula, yeah.
Whether it's better quality.
Maybe
or
it's
not,
just the
I'm not
fact.
arguing.
No, yeah. As far as what's happening, yes, very much
Yeah.
Castle.
I will give you also, I mean, to give the show its fair shake, you probably caught a couple seasons in which they actually already had their chemistry.
I agree, but
and
it's all,
everything.
Nathan Fillion's just better and a
He's-
better
he's
actor
more
than
charming than
anyone
Rachel
on
Bilson.
the rest of that Castle or on this show.
This also not only does it have Rachel Bilson in it, it also
Leanne Rimes' ex-husband.
Sure. Also, I don't even know that dude's name, but he was totally on Rosewood, and almost any show except
Mo
for
Chess.
Station 19 that has a Rosewood alum is.
Are you
my
talking about
house
the
show.
lead private eye guy?
Yeah,
That's Leanne Rimes' ex-husband.
Oh,
Maybe
is it?
still husband. Maybe they worked it out. I don't know.
he's also the captain in Rosewood for a season.
Until you said her name, hadn't thought of Leanne Rimes in a decade.
All right. I don't even know why I know that. I just know things.
Oh, no.
Because you live in Tennessee.
This show sucked, dude.
It's not good.
I know you liked
I'm gonna
it.
keep it.
I know you are. I cut it hard. It is not anywhere close to the conversation for worst show.
Yeah, it's not that much of a shit show, but
It's just generic, and
There were a few
I
parts
just
I
like
at least
that.
maybe grinned at or wasn't scowling at.
I
Yeah.
toughed it out through the first episode, and that's all I'm going to do.
Rachel Bilson was hot enough where I was just like, oh, all right. So, yeah, it was definitely not the worst. Not good, though. Kiss Me First. All right, so Josh is high on this. A Netflix show, only 6 episodes, so I've only watched the first one. This is very much a Ready Player One-ish type thing without the pop culture.
Or good.
Okay, so Josh doesn't like it.
Sorry.
I only watched about 15 minutes of it. I'm sorry, I can't contribute too much to this.
Because
did
you
you like
didn't have
it?
time, or
Huh?
why did you only watch the first 15 minutes?
Oh, just round time.
Okay.
Did you like what you saw?
I mean, it was the kind of the intro and about 5 extra. It was a really long intro.
It was. It really was.
So
So Trey,
I got through about the first 30, 35
Oh,
minutes.
you didn't even finish the first episode?
it's only a 40-minute show.
Yeah. Well,
Did you get to the naked girl?
maybe, I don't know. I was dozing off and I fell asleep, and I don't have any desire to go back and try to figure out what I missed.
man, you add the bacon to that beef and cheddar. It's like Xanax. You just fall asleep.
It's a bad show.
It's not good
show.
from
It's
what
a
I
real
saw.
bad show.
Like-
but the story did intrigue me.
God
It
damn it.
really did. It did.
I knew it would.
But it did. I don't know if I'm gonna go finish this, but the fact it's only 5 more episodes and the story intrigues me makes me kind of wanna.
Like I'll say, like, for the whole falling asleep thing, I also fell asleep.
That show was slow. I will
towards
give
the
it
end
that.
of Succession. The first time I tried to watch it,
Yeah.
and I since back and
Do you like that show?
Yeah, I went back and finished
Good.
that episode. I intend to probably watch more of that show.
I just don't know what this show is building.
That
toward.
lead actress is bad.
She's not good. I don't think any of
And
the
by
actors
that,
are good.
all the actors are bad.
The CG in the
So there's-
fucking game is horrible.
It's real bad.
It's reboot horrible.
It does look a
not
bit
that
reboot.
horrible.
It looks a little rebootish.
It looks rebootish.
A little bit, but you guys are forgetting how
Right.
bad Reboot
It's like
was.
if they remade Reboot.
Which
Okay,
they do.
that's
They
fair.
aren't they?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Are they
For like an
rebooting
online
Reboot?
only thing, yeah,
Anyways,
like a web series.
but the fact that there was
I'm
like
super
this.
confused right now.
Yeah, you should be. People that watch it kind of are. There is a hidden world within this game that people are like hiding out that no one else can access unless you're invited or if she finds a way in. But I think she was made to go there.
Yeah, like invited in.
Is it that woman?
Yeah, she's bad and not attractive.
She looks,
She looks like she's
a,
trying to be the girl with the pearl earring. Right
is
there.
Is that like a painting?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was about to say it looks like a
Victorian, yeah.
painting.
She's not a good actress. But anyway, so like
Sorry, I stepped on your joke.
there's
Joe.
VR going on,
Well,
and at the
observation.
end it looks like this kid maybe gets killed within
Or, like
there.
coerced to jump off
Yeah,
the side of a building.
But, and it seems like he actually probably did it in real life.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, in
yeah.
the game, it was like a take this leap of faith off this
Yeah.
cave wall.
So
and
there's
it-
something nefarious going on, and I gotta admit, it got me a little bit. But the rest of the show sucked.
It's bad.
Uh,
It's real fucking.
check
Like,
it
we
out for
spent
yourself,
like
folks.
20 minutes in a rave scene that really had nothing going on.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't
that
good.
show's bad.
She's cleaning up that Turkish restaurant.
Is that what the country was?
It was Turkish that they were speaking, at least.
Was it?
The subtitles.
How do you
told
know
me.
that? Oh, okay. I was like, you don't know.
Somehow subtitles got turned on in my Netflix, and I didn't turn them off.
That checks out.
I actually watch most stuff with subtitles.
That also checks out.
I
That's
enjoy
because he can't figure out how to turn them off.
correct. Tech
No.
support.
it. I got
That's
used to
tech
it when I used to like stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning watching TV, and my parents were sleeping in the room next to me. I just had to watch
No one
subtitles.
believes you.
It's a weird thing to lie about, Chuck.
You're right, Josh.
I'm a weird dude, I guess.
Correct.
Deep State,
Didn't watch it.
Tell me about this.
an Epix joint.
This is okay.
It's good, man. It is very similar to Homeland. You're
You're
right.
wrong.
All around the acting's not as good, but Mark Strong
Yeah.
is the lead, and he is very good.
Does
I
he
love
sing
Mark
West
Strong.
Virginia?
Someone call him strong.
He does not, which is the only deterrent to the show so far.
He's not what?
He doesn't sing West Virginia,
He does
which I
not.
watched with Jalen. She really enjoyed. She likes that one better than the original Kingsman. Actually,
It's a good movie, man.
it is good.
Also, that song has hit peak status
Thanks-
in the
thanks,
last
Bethesda.
like 20 years. I was hanging out with Eric the other night and a bunch of friends, and like it played, and everybody just stopped and sang it. Like
It's a great song.
it's a great song.
Deep State's a good show.
What is this about? Sorry.
It's a spy show. Mark Strong is a retired spy living in France with.
MI6, I think.
Yes, he was MI6 spy that did some really shady like black ops work.
Would anyone be surprised if this was like really Mark Strong's story?
No, I wouldn't.
I totally could believe it. That he's like a black
so-
ops.
And he's out of the game, but it turns out, slight spoilers for it, like his son is part of this team of this other story you're watching simultaneously, and it's flashing back to like a few days ago, and you're
plays
getting
his
that story. Gendry from Game of Thrones.
Really?
Yeah. And he's not
Did
bad.
he die last season? No, he ran like the Dickens, is what he did.
Yeah, he did. I enjoyed that phrase.
Like the Dickens.
So I like
Yeah.
those two. The other
Speaking of
actors.
which-
I didn't think there was bad acting, but you were right. Like there wasn't standout acting, maybe like Carrie. But I thought
And it
Mark
was-
Strong was fine.
it was just a little slow. Like it
It is
definitely
slow.
Would not call it a bad show, but man, I also just couldn't really get into it.
It just gave me a strong Homeland vibe. Like
I agree. It's very
a
similar.
lot of spy stuff going on,
Yeah.
which I'm strong on the spy stuff with Homeland.
Spy shit.
So like it seems like someone within the government is kind of playing both sides. Like they're trying to get Mark Strong to go take out this guy that they say killed his son, who's turned on the government. But they also had the guy from the guy that he's going after kill his son because they told him that he was the bad guy.
There's
And
a lot of double and triple crosses.
it seems
about
like
to
they're like
happen.
trying to like destabilized somewhere over in the Middle East or something like that. So I'm interested. I like deep spy stuff like that, and I really like Mark Strong. Like I'm in on the show, like pretty good.
What was that show that we watched that was kind of like that, but it had to do with aliens? Remember that glass tree in like the Middle East or whatever?
Oh, with the kids.
Yeah.
No, they were like being taken. They were like being talking to
Whispers or Whispers.
Oh, the ABC show that got canceled after like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Whisperers is the name of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
those kids talking to invisible aliens.
That pilot was good, but I was like,
remember that
this
now.
is getting shit canned, and I never watched anything else of it.
I watched the first episode and that was it.
I
Yeah,
have no idea why that sparked.
I don't
memory.
either at all. Good on you though. Yeah. So Deep State's a keep for me.
It's a maybe for me. It honestly depends on if I remember to go back to the Epix app ever again.
That's not gonna happen.
I like Epics.
In about a
they have
month,
good
we're
movies.
gonna have the wrap up of Deep State, and Trey's gonna be like,
Oh yeah.
"Deep State." Remind me of what.
Preacher season 3. Oh
You watched it though?
yeah, but no one else did they?
I didn't.
I'm not
Talk-
going to watch it,
I
but
will.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Let's just talk first impressions next week then.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. It's a solid opening episode.
Secret Play 2.
it'll do that.
Looking at you, Boone.
Thanks, Tim Burton.
Fair. Glow season 2.
But yeah.
I am the warrior, sir.
Yeah, you are.
So angry
And
this
so
show
is
just
this
didn't work
show.
for me.
I think you should try it again.
Man, I couldn't
Man.
make it through that first episode.
It is pretty awkward.
It was
It's not as
painful,
awkward
man.
as that first episode, the whole series.
We'll
But
talk about it
If
later,
I could
but
get
that
through-
scene with Ben Kim I couldn't handle. I can't handle this fucking show.
I mean, if you I get through Louis perfectly fine. This show is like a walk
it
in the park.
physically hurts me, the awkwardness in this shit. Like I
I
can't.
don't think
do
it's
it.
that bad.
Allison
definitely
Brie is
not this
definitely
year.
awkward.
This first episode was really good. I've only watched the first one so
Same
far.
here.
I've gone through about 4. I just couldn't stop watching it last night for some reason.
Is
But
it very similar to the first season?
Oh, yeah.
Like it picks up right where it left off
Yep.
type
Yes.
thing?
Well, it's picking up at the start of them filming season 2.
But
Or-
like,
Yeah, they had a
in
break.
stride with the quality and everything, though.
oh,
yes.
yes. Oh, yeah. And so I don't know if it's part of the story or if they just lost the actress, but Cherry being gone and they address it.
It is part of the story.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
I figured she was probably gonna make an appearance.
The way
at some
they
point.
addressed it made me unsure of like, did they just recast and then they had to throw in some exposition
And
or
I
not?
thought the same thing until like it kind of calls back to some of the reasons why she started working with him and Glow to begin with, because they had a running in the past when he was directing. She was a stunt woman.
Right.
It calls back to that, and
That's
you'll
cool.
you'll see.
Let's talk about the fact that you said Mark Marion is hateable in this show.
Man, at least in that first episode of
Sam
season
is the
2.
best.
I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't do a
Oh,
great
he's a
job.
dickhole.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
But he's a
I
wonderful.
love
So
him.
is Kelso, but you love him.
Yeah, I don't feel like he's an asshole like Kelso's an asshole. Maybe he's
Bob?
Yeah.
maybe he's the way Kelso was an asshole in the first season when I didn't like him. Like he was an asshole, but it wasn't quite funny yet.
Yeah, but you were
He's no more of an
wrong. He
asshole
was
than
great.
Dr. Cox. I'm going to continue to reference Scrubs.
God, you know what? You're gonna get me in on this show if you just do that.
I don't like Marin just is like I mean he's just an asshole for like the sake of being an asshole, and it is funny most of the time. But sometimes you're just like, God damn, dude! Like lay off it for like half a
I
second.
love him so much, and I am positive he's doing coke on this show.
I would not be surprised.
Not even a little bit. I bet
Wait.
it's in his fucking contract.
Has any of the cast been shaken up? What you guys have seen so far?
Someone got fired in the first
Okay,
episode. The big
I couldn't
blonde girl,
remember. Yeah. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, that was like him just.
peak asshole.
Yeah,
That-
Because they
that's
filmed the
actually
mall.
this-
They filmed the mall
I
scene.
literally
Yeah.
was
because that was really
watching-
cool. It was a lot of fun to watch, and
Yeah, because he was
I
like,
was
because
trying.
that was right after he found out that he was
Trying give
supposed
you
to
the
be.
actual angle to talk to him and everything. You got nothing.
It was right after he found out that he was supposed to be. He might have got replaced, so it caused him to be an asshole. And I figured
Yeah.
that was the scene that
Yeah,
got
that
you.
was literally the scene where he fires that girl. Is when I was like, man, this dude is really hateable right now.
But God, I love him so much.
I mean, he's
so
excellent in that
funny.
role and is doing exactly what he's supposed to do.
yeah. And to be fair, a lot of like managers, even in whatever, if they get a lot of insubordination in front of their entire team like that, that person is going to be gone. Because she said, "Hey, Ruth saved your ass and directed the pilot," and of course she's got to be fired. Otherwise, the entire rest of the roster is going to be insubordinate.
Yeah,
Got to make an example.
Alison
Ruth
Brie
also-
is so hot.
No,
she
she's
is
not.
incredible. I think she is, and she's
I mean,
incredible.
she's also
However,
unattractive,
He won't
but-
say anything good about a community.
Liberty Bell
aside from-
is smoking. Oh my God, she's awesome.
Up top,
You have-
she is large.
Man, you have no idea. There's a scene where
She is.
she has to get rid of like the bed in her house, and she is barely wearing anything. It's incredible. She's got great cans.
I love that. It's like an extra like twist of irony that we're talking about
Oh,
Glow.
yeah.
Like this.
Twist, indeed.
This is what we're here for, folks.
There you
How
go.
do you not think Allison
Especially
Brie's
me.
hot?
Allison Brie is super
Like
fucking
crazy hot.
In
Like,
this show, I don't know.
oh, they make her hair weird. She looks very 80s-ish
yeah,
in
I don't
this,
think
but...
she's attractive.
Oh, man,
in
I
this
think
show.
she's
super
hot as
skinny in
Zoya.
the first.
Yeah, it's
episode.
Zoya now.
Oh,
With her
yeah.
hair stuck up. I dig
yeah.
that a lot.
I'll find that shit out.
I enjoy all of the cast. Like all the girls, like they have some great one-liners from the background.
Yeah.
They're like smells like racism when they're talking about their
Yeah.
costumes.
And there's a
and
lot of
stuff.
stuff like that. I like Gold Chain, the new girl they brought in.
Yeah.
She's
from
awesome.
the strip club.
Yeah, man, she's really, really good. And the guy Kim Marino's fat out of work brother,
Oh yeah,
he's good in
it's the
this.
perfect description of that guy.
I also like the dude that's like the producer, like the money behind it.
Oh yeah,
That didn't
Bash?
understand prep day.
yeah.
Oh
You
man,
talking about the young guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bash is the best.
dude, he's like as close as we're gonna get to. Oh god damn it.
You quit on it hard.
Screen Queens.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Oh.
Chad Radwell.
Thank you.
He's
I
like
can't remember
like if there were twins and one of them was evil.
That guy
Yeah.
is one of 3
He's the other
finalists for the
Yeah.
lead in the new Top Gun movie. By the way.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh,
He's against
interesting.
Miles Teller and someone else that's really big.
If that,
Iceman's
if that guy
son.
gets it, Glow is gonna be looking for
No,
a new
not that
producer.
guy.
Oh,
Chad
Chad
Radwell.
Radwell.
Chad Radwell.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Awesome.
welcome to me being excited about Top Gun 2 finally.
I like that.
Everything should make you excited about Top Gun 2.
I like
No,
that guy a lot
it
too. We'll
should.
talk about him later. He's in a movie I watched. But
Glow, thumbs up.
yeah, Glow is great. I can't. It's probably the first thing I finish going into next week's show. The half hour helps.
It's easy to
on
watch.
that. Yeah, it's 10 episodes of half hour.
I wish
shows.
they had that intro on every single one.
It's
though.
dumb that they don't.
It's
Playing Warrior
so
with like this
good.
badass wrestling sequence all in neon. It's
Yeah.
so good. God, it's so good.
I am the warrior.
Bang bang. Finish shows. How are we on Brockmire? Did everyone finish
I did.
Mm-mm.
I got like 5 minutes left, but I'm good.
of the show?
Yeah. I got
How
caught
do you
up.
quit right there?
What's the
I got
last thing
caught
you
up.
saw?
Let's see.
Slight spoilers, I guess. Trey.
It had something to do with
I
that black
watched a
kid.
good bit of it, but I've not finished it. I have like 3 episodes left.
I can't
2 or 3.
100% remember. I was working at the time. It was funny though.
If it has to do with Charles, dude, you got more than 5 minutes left. Then
5 or 10. It was at least halfway in. He was doing something.
Can you talk about without spoilers for Trey?
can you? Yeah, I can.
Yeah, because we've got 3 people here, and he's not going to be here next week. It's one of the things he watched.
Did
Yeah,
you
that's
not?
fine.
Oh, have you not finished it either?
No, I have. I'm
Oh, okay.
saying Trey's.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not going to be here, and Trey's the only one that
Yeah, I'm-
basically finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it. I fucking love this show.
I'm down
How
on
could
it
you
a
not?
little bit.
It wasn't as good as last season.
It took a way more serious note.
There was a lot more serious.
Like
tones
way,
on it.
there
About
was
halfway
none.
through,
almost.
it definitely
Right.
took a very serious turn.
the
family episode.
the family episode and then the intervention. Even though there was some funny stuff in the
Funny
intervention.
moment. I mean, there's always a funny moment in this show because he's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the show's not funny. I'm saying it was nowhere near season 1 for like it just was a different feel to the show.
Right.
It turned me hard on Charles though. Fuck that kid for a little bit.
I never.
Oh, I
agree with
really
that.
hated what he did.
How far are you, by the way, just so we can know what to not tiptoe around?
Charles starting his own company or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw the very beginning of
Okay.
that.
Man, it felt shitty as hell.
That's the smart move, and he even tells him.
I
that.
know he does,
Yeah.
but I don't care. I'm all on Brockmire's side.
He's
on this
also
one.
his best friend.
Brockmire's
to
a
him.
shit show. If any
Yeah.
one of us was like related to him, we'd be like,
He's
"Whoa,
the
dude,
only one
I
that
get
sticks
that.
by him.
I get that, but it was like what it was to me.
he
It was
wouldn't
like
even
super
get one
shitty.
piazza."
So, have you seen when he goes home for the funeral?
Yes.
Okay, that was an interesting episode. That was like a hard turn, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I thought it was really
I
well
It's a
like
good.
done.
It's a very good episode. It's not what I was looking for in Brockmire up to that point because I had not even seen a hint that we would take a turn like that.
Yeah.
Not saying it was bad. I was just like, I wasn't ready to watch something like this.
I think
Yeah.
they did more in this season overall to develop the character of Brockmire.
It
which
may
is
be
why
a
I
better
appreciate it.
show, but I didn't like it as much.
It wasn't
Yes.
as funny. I
That
think
makes
I
sense.
liked it maybe equally, but I found season 1 to be significantly more funny.
I'm also
That's
very curious to see where they go. Well, obviously, we won't talk about
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is, but it's an interesting setup going forward.
It is definitely not where I was expecting this season to end.
A lot of the comedy will be in question going forward. But God,
See,
there are some great things, like his rivalry with the mascot.
And then you find out who the mascot
it
is.
was like
It's
which
so
is
funny.
like
It's a wonderful
16-year-old
reveal. Oh, you son of a bitch! Aliens, dude.
Fuck, my bad. I
That is-
literally forgot. I'm sorry, Trey.
It's
I
all
mean,
good.
to
God
be
damn it,
fair,
man.
he won't remember.
That's fair too.
What are you guys talking about?
Exactly.
Yes, that was really funny. My bad. God,
But yes, that rivalry was really, really
All
good.
the stuff with Raj, I thought was funny.
I thought Raj was great.
the fuck yous was really good.
That was really funny.
That was really good.
There was
Hidden alcohol.
God, there was one line that really got
That
me.
lady
this
put the
season.
binoculars up to her
Uh,
eyes. Oh! Oh my god!
That's some top shelf hiding whiskey you're
the-
throwing around there.
Him and Uribe's meeting on,
On
the mound.
Holy shit!
The
Yeah.
man knows what he likes.
Did you see that
Yes,
one?
I did.
Okay, him narrating
love
it
Uribe.
broke me. Uribe's great. Him and the intervention was amazing too. Uribe misunderstood.
Oh, and
Oh,
the
just-
Atlanta thing with the commentator there.
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
yeah.
that was really good.
Yeah.
But just waking up, because he's seen that part if he's seen the stuff with Charles, I think.
What stuff?
If he's seen the stuff with Charles
Atlanta?
starting his own company. You've seen the Atlanta stuff, right?
I mean, obviously, I don't know how long he stays
With the
in
racist?
Atlanta.
It's episode 6 is in Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that
I
stuff
think
was
I haven't
great.
seen the last two, 7 and 8. It's just 8 again this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
so,
I
yeah.
haven't seen 7 and 8.
Okay.
I mean, I
Atlanta
don't
was
know.
good. So you saw him in the booth with the old Braves
Yes,
announcer,
yes.
and he's a horrible racist.
Yes.
And
was
then like he
fantastic.
stands up for Charles, and then like he continues to go against him. And he's because he's like, I'm a white man standing up for you, and everybody's like, ooh.
Oh, yeah, when he said I was saving you from
Yeah.
racism, everybody was like,
Yeah.
And it was kind of a good commentary because there are a lot of people that wouldn't understand that.
Yeah.
You know, what would be wrong about what he did.
It
But at the
felt
same time,
like
I was like, I didn't come to Brockmire for this.
No, I mean, that's fair, but
I think they did
I
a
think
good
there's
job.
a lot of shows making that same commentary, and I didn't necessarily know if Brockmire needed to.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate
probably
them
need to,
progressing, though. I appreciate them wanting to do more with the show. Like, for me personally.
I basically just want him to be a drunk asshole at all times.
Correct.
That's what I want from this show.
you're still 99% getting that.
And then Amanda Peet didn't look as good this year. It hurt me.
She looked a little tired.
She
did look tired.
But I mean, I still
But she's
think
working
awesome.
less.
Did she have a home between the two seasons?
I mean,
I just want him to go back to Morristown.
that was fun.
I really do.
Plus, that kid from Trophy Wife, he needs some more work.
the
True
frackers.
story.
Overall, no, I still really enjoy Brockmire. Like if season 1 was part of this award show, like that'd be a shoe-in for best comedy, considering Big Mouth is animated and we don't overlap. But yeah, I don't know. But this one I think might have some competition. We'll see. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there wasn't any time in
still
which
really
I
like
had to
Atlanta.
pause
The-
the show
Atlanta's a
because I
better
was
show.
laughing so hard.
Right.
But Atlanta also
It does
dipped
what
back
Atlanta.
from the
It does
funny,
what
but-
Atlanta does, really, and to even what Master of None's always done.
Mhm.
Atlanta went a little more serious this year than it originally did, but it felt like more like what that show was going to do. So I don't know, but overall, very good show.
Sure. And they renewed it through what, season 5 already? So
4 or
Did they
5.
really?
Yeah,
Shit.
it's
Shit.
got a
yeah,
couple
they did that
renewals.
before season 2 even started.
It's the only thing that people watch IFC outside of
story.
Portlandia.
Their
Yeah,
app is
Portlandia and
awful.
documentary now.
And documentary now not watched on IFC a lot.
That's true.
Also, their app works just fine for
Oh
me.
no,
Yep, same
man.
here.
Like 5 different times an episode started, and like the dialogue just cut out for like 10 seconds, and then like it was delayed, and then just jumped forward and caught back up again.
I believe you know what we're going to say here.
Every time I pushed the mute button, I couldn't fucking hear him talk.
So you didn't know. You never know. You got to make those bets. Hashtag tech
man.
support.
That was good. That was a good
Hashtag
joke.
tech aids. There it is. You have to get it out eventually.
Hashtag
You do struggle
Sammy.
with technology. It's an incredible battle.
Never mind. Go on.
I kind of want to know.
No.
You going to defend yourself?
No.
Because Trey will get on you for defending yourself.
Something I never want to
Only
hear
to
again.
Chuck against jokes.
Chuck!
There's just no stopping
Archer!
it.
Yay!
You're tagged in. I don't know why the
Yay.
fuck I just did that to you.
It was also very like literally heavy-handed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm tired. I've got a big hand.
That's fair.
I really don't. Though.
This season was okay.
Uh,
It was a dip back from the previous 2 seasons.
last
I think.
season
Danger
was
Island?
Dreamland,
Yeah.
correct?
Was it Dreamland or was it
Was that 2 seasons?
2
ago?
seasons ago?
And then-
Anyway, regardless,
this was Danger Island, though, right?
this was Danger Island. There were some
Credit to Josh.
funny parts to it, but overall, it took a pretty serious dip back. It's super violent. Like there was like a bunch of people just getting their faces melted and blown apart, and like it's
So for the kids,
funny, but no.
I watched the
Um,
first episode of this. Every year I tell myself this is the
is
year I'm gonna watch Archer all the way through, and then I last an episode or two.
See, I can't remember which one was Dreamland and which one was the one that me and you watched like almost every night after the podcast for
and I stayed sometimes.
like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was at least 3 weeks, maybe 4.
No, that was Mike Tyson's
I don't think
Mysteries.
there was a theme for that one, was there?
I don't think so.
No,
I
it
don't
was
think
just
so
a
either.
regular season.
Yeah.
Because I watched several with
That
you.
that was the one where they had the episode that they were like at the party.
Yeah, and
There was
Patton
one they were like in
Oswalt's-
a mansion
Yeah.
that shit
Yeah.
was going wrong.
Yeah. So I think that was 2 seasons ago. Last year was Dreamland. This year,
Well, I haven't been to many parties,
and this
otherwise
is
you wouldn't have known.
this is tied into what kind of happens at Dreamland. Archer is like comatose. He's dreaming all of this stuff.
Gotcha.
So it
Twist.
ties. Yeah, it ties into Dreamland because that's what's happened at Dreamland. But at the end of Dreamland, they kind of had an homage to the guy who voiced Woodhouse, who passed away. There was nothing really tying anything together like this. It was just a bunch of kooky shit. Like Pam was like this 7-foot-tall giant man person who was kind of like his buddy co-pilot. For some reason, Krieger was a parrot that could talk, but not like Cracker and stuff like that. Yes,
Yeah.
he was just talking. It's stuff like oh god, what's his name? The incredibly gay guy. He was this super gay French person, and he was really funny.
The Duke of Queensberry.
Something like that. Mike Tyson Mystery
Yeah.
callback. Thank you. But no, it was. I mean, it was all right. There's not a ton to talk about. Story was okay.
More Archer.
More Archer.
More Archer, but not peak Archer.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Season 9?
9.
I don't know why I said it like that.
No, it is 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just go on, keep talking. Arrested Development.
Arrested Development. Yeah, I watched this show. There's 8 episodes, I think, on Netflix. I don't.
It's a half season, isn't it?
I think
or is it a
so.
full?
No, I think it's they're doing the Kimmy Schmidt thing. At least I hope so, because nothing fucking wrapped up at all. No story.
Do you like this?
I do.
Okay,
I
because
like
I
this-
just don't like Arrested Development.
I like
do
this
not
a
as
lot
well.
more than the last season 4.
I watched a little bit of that, and I remembered not loving original Arrested Development. I watched a little of last season. And I was like, this is fucking awful.
To me, season 4 is like just actually bad TV.
I wouldn't go that far. No, I would think that it's a disappointment for people who liked Arrested Development. People who didn't like Arrested Development, who tried to get in on this one, isn't gonna.
Yeah, that's what happened
It's
with
worse,
me.
but I wouldn't consider it bad TV. It's not like fucking Falling Water. Or
I
anything.
did. Oh, if only.
Oh,
So-
God, shut up, Josh. Douchebag. Take your victory sip and shut up.
I mean, to be fair, Arrested Development made longer than Falling Water. We can't use that argument here. So this season, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot better. I thought it was a lot better. You can totally tell that the blues. You can totally tell that a lot of the cast is actually together now instead of.
They focused heavily on that aspect.
Yeah, they actually used it to some really good jokes, and Ron Howard is a fucking delight in the show.
Ron Howard.
I mean, he does the voiceovers through all 5 seasons, but he's actually a main character in season
Did you
4
not know
and
that?
5.
Yeah, he's always the one who does like the cut-ins and
I feel like I
outs.
knew that, but
He's
I
also like the executive
didn't.
producer of the show.
Yeah,
It's the one thing I don't like about Ron Howard.
I mean,
Because
he's
Jesus, I love Ron Howard.
he's
I really
pretty
fucking do.
fantastic on the show. He really is, and they
He's got a good deadpan delivery of all the narration.
I mean, he'll just sit there and smile and
I
just wait for Jason Bateman to talk, and there's a lot of awkwardness.
Why have I blocked this out?
I don't know.
Like, I have no recollection.
He
of
was a
that.
main character in season 4.
Have I ever watched Arrested Development?
I feel like that's a
Are
question
you
only
asking
you can answer.
me?
I am.
I don't know.
What good are you?
Not much.
Yeah.
Funny. I liked it. If you liked the first 3 seasons of Arrested Development, this is much more in
Your
line with
speed.
that. It's kind of shitty what Jeffrey Tambor did to Jessica Walters and throughout
The
what
whole-
happened to
yeah.
this. But
That
the
dude
show
turns
is still
out to
good.
kind of be an asshole.
Yeah,
He's got
Tambor
weird
might
lips.
just be a son of a bitch.
He's got weird lips. That's what he gets. They're
Well-
really they kind of look like worms.
But he does play a great successor to Stalin.
Oh my god, that movie was fucking great.
I'm gonna watch that soon.
It's
I'm
fucking
so
great,
happy.
man. Trey would love that movie.
Which movie is this?
Death of Stalin.
Man, that's
It's on Plex.
so funny.
Okay.
I
Is that
mean,
a this year movie?
yes,
It is, but it's not listed that way on Plex. Just so
Okay.
you know, because
Holy
it had
Yeah, like it was
Steve
indie-
Buscemi
it had
is
an
like
international
Sundance
indie
site.
release.
Steve
over
Buscemi is
last year.
Khrushchev, and
He's great.
he has like no intention of ever trying to be Russian.
Also,
None of those guys.
That's
do.
what I was telling you
That's
about
the
the
best
movie the
part
whole
about it.
time. Also, when
it's so funny.
I don't want to get when Stalin's son showed up for the first time. Though
I was
I'm not gonna say
that.
more. I'm not gonna show
this.
more. I'm not gonna say more than that.
Rest Development's all right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Goliath.
Yeah,
Me, Trey, and Chuckles on this one.
indeed.
You seem the highest on this season.
Until the last episode, I probably am. It sounds like I did not like the way they ended the season at all.
I like that it ended on a down note, actually, although the last episode sucked as a whole.
It did, which is a shame because the penultimate episode. was
Proud
really
of
good.
you.
I've
Is that the one with Penn and Teller?
I've
No, that's
never
crashing.
Oh.
It's just Penn.
been more impressed.
I know how Chuck feels on this, and it's not good.
This season sucks. It's awful.
Okay,
There's
I'm definitely not there.
a single goddamn redeemable moment.
I
You
did
not
like-
watch the penultimate episode then.
I watched all of it.
'Cause
I
holy
liked
shit.
episode
It's
7,
awful.
like how weird it was. Like it was supposed to be like
You're
basically
talking about
parallel.
him like trying to get out of that fucking house.
Yeah.
God, it was so bad. This is a fucking show like David and Goliath, like lawyer stuff from the first.
He was not
season.
a fucking lawyer.
There was
almost
no
at all.
lawyering
Yeah.
at all.
and that was the best part of.
And there's
season
so
one.
many fucking like story threads that didn't get wrapped up at all. There were some that just didn't fucking matter.
It felt like they were
oh
like,
my
we have
God.
to make a second season and we're not ready, but we have to make one because he somehow won a Golden
What did
Globe.
that guy jump
Yeah.
off the goddamn roof for? He was fighting a super skinny guy with one arm. Punch him! You're a goddamn trained federal agent or whatever the fuck you are.
Oh, that was amazing.
Just
It's
punch
true.
him.
It's
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was
true.
weird that he jumped off the roof.
He's like, I give up.
Was that the last episode?
You've got one arm. I can't handle that.
So there are
I'm
some
done.
there are some good things. Mark Duplass was really good, I thought.
Dude, if there was anything redeemable about this, of course, Billy Bob being Billy Bob, he's great.
He's a
and
good
everything he
actor.
does.
I didn't agree with
Duplass
the
was-
character, the way they took his character.
Duplass was great in this show.
He was
really was.
him playing a douchebag bad guy was really awesome.
Yeah.
That's his wheelhouse, man. He's good at it.
He's really good at it.
Yeah.
The way spoilers for Goliath, when he comes to and he has no arms or legs and he's just like laughing
He's just
hysterically.
giddy about it. Yeah,
What did you do?
That was amazing. He was also a sex freak.
yeah, he
Yeah, he
was.
was.
Like in even a way that I feel like Pornhub could not like accommodate.
HR puffing stuff.
Yeah.
Those friends and things.
And that was freaky, man.
Yeah.
I also find her weirdly attractive, even though she looks like a hot horse.
Oh my god, it's such a good description.
Is it
Oh,
true?
it's so mean, but it's so true.
I'm gonna look up hot horse.
Hey, she's gonna pop up.
Man, I totally agree with like I could have used a whole lot more lawyering in this show.
That's what the show's about, supposedly.
Not anymore. But I
Holy
like,
shit, that is not what I was expecting.
I liked
There's
most of
a-
the season,
Oh
but
my
I will say
God.
that last episode, like
She likes horses.
they're just chilling out. Like clearly the motherfucking like drug cartel kingpin like got away. Like she's the mayor. They
Mhm.
basically got away with the whole fucking thing.
I like that they got away with it, but it makes
But-
me sad that they're gonna go back to that later.
Well, not only
I don't
that,
think
but
this season. I don't think this show keeps going.
Maybe not.
maybe
I
not.
think it's
but
over.
It was just the idea of like the one guy gets like nabbed up by the fake FBI and his fucking limbs get cut off. But Billy Bob's just gonna keep chilling out in that fucking motel next to the bar. Like
It
they
doesn't
know
make
where
sense.
his daughter lives. They know where like all his entire workforce lives.
She's all of a sudden an alcoholic.
Yeah, that was also a terrible twist. But like just everything that happened in the last episode, was like, you can ask Brittany. I was yelling at the TV like, why? What? That doesn't make any
I don't-
fucking sense.
I don't even know the
so mad
entire
at the end.
the reason why they framed that kid and then killed him. Like, there's
It didn't
no
make sense. They could have pivoted away from it. So
there's
fast.
no reason why she would allow that to happen.
She didn't know. Like they established in the first episode, but it was subtle. They had like some exposition. They're like, "Oh, they didn't know that
But
he had
gives
anything to do with her."
She
and
gives the blessing for
yeah,
him being killed.
it should have been. In real life, if that had been true, she'd be like, "No, you gotta get someone else," and they'd be
And
like,
they-
"Okay,"
like-
because we just threw it on a random kid anyways.
I don't, man.
It didn't make sense.
There
She
was
was
a lot of this that didn't make sense.
There are two things that were great. It was Martin Ploss and Patty. Patty is wonderful.
Patty giving her explanation of why that guy shouldn't date her
was fucking amazing.
it was great.
It was so good. It was easily
great.
the best part of this. And other than the first half of episode 7, was the best thing about the season.
I love everything that Patty does. I think she's hysterical.
She is hysterical. Man, I still can't get over episode 7 though. It was so fucking ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. I'll give you that. That show went from like a 9 though to like a 6.5.
There's
for
no
me.
way it's even sniffing the top half of my list this year.
It's not. Yeah, it's not even close to my top 10. Whereas last year, I think it was either my 10 or my 11. So
It was definitely on my list.
it made her. It made
It
her
was
a
our 10th.
consistency.
It was our 10th spot.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely won't be there this year.
Man, and it's like fucking David Cross out of nowhere.
That was
That was
awful.
very awful and weird.
He said,
And for
He's the
and
worst
again, serves
wig
not much
ever.
purpose.
Zero purpose.
Uh,
It was like that shouldn't have been a role of someone we like. Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah.
That should have been like, hey, do you want to be in a TV show,
Yeah.
guy?
Hey, director's brother or
Yeah.
something.
Oh yeah, it was weird.
Man,
Yeah,
you guys made me kind of hate it a little bit more. Realize I did.
I don't hate it, but I
you know
liked
what I
it
mean,
okay. But it, yeah, it
no, I
was.
liked it too, but there is a lot.
I'm
that
down
just
on it
doesn't make
hard.
sense.
Billions.
Talk about a show that
Bill
did not
Illinois.
get worse season to season.
God.
And that's motherfucking billions.
It dipped a little bit, but
It's
I still
actually
love it.
I love the show, but it is my least favorite season of the 3.
It's probably mine as well, but that's like
Yeah,
that's a very small fraction.
I mean,
that
it's
we're
been
talking
top
about.
5 for two years running, so that's not that bad a deal. And it may even be high, while lower, it may be higher this year
Based
on
on
my
the other
list.
TV, yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm not sure either. I'd say it's still a pretty solid top 10 lock.
And like,
oh,
I
it's
just don't
top
know
10
where
for
on
me.
the
It's
list.
top 10 for me. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely top 10. Probably top 5 right now. Like for me, it was just like I knew where this season was going to end for about 2/3 of it. I just knew that that final scene would be it. Basically,
We can spoil Billions. I don't
Chuck, you don't ever have a plan on watching this, right?
on what?
Billions.
Billions.
That was my wink, wink.
Oh, that was bad.
None of us got that.
I did miss.
The fact that they're working together is the greatest. It's an unstoppable force.
It's gonna make for an awesome season 4, I think, for sure.
Fuck Taylor.
I know. I disagree.
I don't.
Fuck you then. Fuck Taylor.
You both loyalty or die.
Yeah.
At Axe Capital, sir.
Axe pushed
He
them
would have.
out.
He made them. He would have taken care of them for so long, and there would have been a time for them to go out on their own and been in an even better position. It doesn't even make sense.
He fucked them completely the whole season.
He gave them $25 million. Yeah, he fucked them over hard. It's the highest paid employee he'd ever had.
And I get that.
In like a very prominent position very early on in their career.
They took over the company,
I
fucking
mean, out of
ushered
necessity-
it through a storm, and his repayal for that is to fuck over their relationship.
And to be fair, they thrived
He's
because
gotta,
of his
he's
back
gotta
channel
make sure
deals. Though.
that they know who the alpha is.
God, it pissed me off. I'm totally on Taylor's side on that. I love Axe, but I'm totally on Taylor's side
Body
in
spray?
that particular
Yeah,
aspect.
fuck Taylor. Fuck McPhee now. He's a traitor.
Fuck you,
He's
McPhee
out.
is the best.
He was the best.
He-
and he
he
went out.
was the best.
And now he's been taken over by Ben Kim.
Ben Kim is
Ben
great.
Kim is loyal, and he will dance on the elevator.
Couldn't watch it. I
It was
literally
amazing.
walked
It was
away
hard
from
to
my
watch
TV.
for me. I was like,
Oh
what
god, I walked
the
away
fuck?
from the TV. I couldn't do it.
When Maggie Stiff was like, no, not now. And then
Oh, I
after it
loved
goes,
it.
and it cuts to them, to Wags and Axe in the office, and they're just sitting there staring a hole through him. And it's just Wags going, what the fuck?
This show is still just like, I was telling Brittany, like it's
Well fucking done, Ben Kim. I love that part.
like everyone says everything in this show, at least most of the lead people, with such confidence, like with confidence that I don't know exists in the real world.
Can we talk about Chuck's father fucking telling Ira's wife how to be a better wife.
Dale,
Just like busting in
Yeah.
to that meeting. And what did he say?
The lime
Take
juice test.
take some lime juice, put it on your finger, and shove it up there. If it
yeah,
burns,
shove it
you
up your
gotta.
pussy. If it burns, go to the doctor, get your shit cleaned out. Like I was like, damn. Also, Chuck would love that guy. I thought that as I watched it.
Yep.
He's a dirty old man.
Oh, okay.
Really funny. Except he's like really rich and powerful.
Okay.
He doesn't give a fuck.
The twists and turns with like Chuck this year. I thought Chuck's storyline was even better this year.
It was
I
the
agree.
most
Axis.
interesting.
But overall, man, it was just really good. I love me some Brian Connerty, man.
Fuck
yes.
Connerty
He's on-
more than anything.
You're
else.
against the side of honesty, loyalty, and justice, sir. You're on the wrong side.
You can't say loyalty to Axe overall and then be on the side of justice.
You can. That he's on the law side. Axe is on the completely different side.
David Justice?
If
Not
only,
David
sir.
Justice.
If only.
Connerty's a dick.
No, he's
Whoa.
not.
He
He
is.
only cares about the law, and he warned Chuck many times. He gave him
did.
every opportunity.
Chuck made one mistake, which was firing him.
I've made several mistakes.
Exactly.
Even next year, when it's clear that Chuck and Axe are going to work together,
It's
I
so-
still will not like Chuck.
So exciting.
'Cause
Also,
he's the
one of those
antithesis
two
of
is
Axe.
already plotting against the other one, if not both.
Oh, they both are completely.
Like, there's something going on
Chuck
already.
sees this as his road back to redemption and back in office in any way.
Maybe. I don't know. I think Axe may have more plans than he does. Axe is more of an asshole.
How did you guys feel about old John Malkovich?
I thought it was weird. They were like, you know what? The best thing John Malkovich ever did was that real shitty Russian accent in Rounders.
He does it in everything
Let's
now.
bring it back.
Basically
like,
everything.
That's just how he talks now. I don't think he remembers how
It's
John
not-
Malkovich talks.
It's not good.
It's not good. It's awful, in
I think
fact.
it's-
but I like the
I
character.
think it like
It was okay.
transcends. Like it is really bad, but it's so bad that I'm like, all right, this is all right.
But I didn't want
It
him
was
in
They
a
can't
throwaway-
even
Billions.
taste in
it
TV
was,
now.
It was a
Yeah.
throwaway
Exactly.
story.
There's so much good acting on Billions that I was like, get off the screen, John Malkovich.
Yeah, we're not done with him though.
No, we're
He's
not.
definitely back next season.
Yeah,
But
I
a
wish
side-
they hadn't
very side
gone with
character.
that story at all. But like the fact that it's tying into the
Well, it's
Taylor
gonna fuck
stuff,
Taylor over,
yeah.
so I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but also I agree that like I could have
I wish
I
it
kinda-
wasn't John
it was the one
Malkovich.
I
part
just
of the
wish it
season I
wasn't
didn't
that
love.
story. Like, yeah,
that
it
story
didn't-
in general, I agree. I didn't.
Yeah,
love the
it's
whole,
the
like-
least best thing about this whole season.
Yeah,
But you know, overall, it was really, really, really good. I liked what's his name, the comedian that's playing a weird role for him.
Birbiglia.
Yeah, Mike Birbiglia. I liked his role a lot.
Stand up recently.
He
He's
plays
hilarious.
a
What did you watch?
weird, like introvert genius venture capitalist in the show. It's a very
He was-
out of the box role for him.
Wasn't he like something like that though on like Fargo the last season of Fargo? He's
Was
been
he?
on something
I
serious
don't
where
remember
he played
seeing
as
Mike Birbiglia in Fargo, but
He was
maybe
on something.
maybe I just missed it.
You
I
watched-
don't remember either for
Was
sure.
it the Sleepwalk with Me one that you watched?
it was whatever the newest one on Netflix is.
Okay, no, that's like about jokes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking awesome stand-up special.
He's great. I love that. Dude.
I liked his character in this.
Yeah,
I liked him a lot. Yeah. I don't know. I love this show. Like,
Wags is still the best.
Wags is great. Wags in the crusade
Always.
to get the plot.
Yeah,
Um,
he's the
That
best
was
character on the scene with them with the napkins over their head,
It-
eating.
that's fucking amazing.
It wasn't
Forgot
it wasn't
about
Fargo, it was Orange is the New Black. That
That's
season.
why I was
That's
like,
what it
that's
is.
why I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scene where they're eating the little like incredibly
That's bad,
expensive
too.
birds with napkins over their head. That's when I was like, this is things you don't know unless you have fuck you money.
Yeah,
Like this
Very
is the
true.
best.
100%.
Also, I bet that bird was perfectly sauced.
When they're talking about how rare it is and it was like illegal and everything, and they eat it and they're talking about like how exquisite it was, and he's like, I need 3 or 4 more of these sons of bitches.
It was interesting having like continuing the breakup between Axe and Laura.
Yeah, but also kind of bringing it back around a little bit at the end.
Kind of.
I think there's
yes.
some hope in the future for
Which
them.
They did not seem like halfway through the season.
I wish they would either.
Well, she was being a
they either
bitch.
need to
She
get back
was.
together, or they need to like,
Write her out.
Basically, like I need either none of them.
If
or
she's
a lot
not
more
with
of them.
him, it doesn't serve much of a purpose.
Agreed.
Man, it pissed me off when she went off on why can't I remember
Maggie Sif.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Which, like, she was just trying to help the kid process the divorce.
Yeah.
Well, and the jealousy over her was kind of
What caused it all?
not.
Well, part of it.
It was definitely an underlying contributor
Sure.
to it.
Yeah, I just like I enjoyed them as a power couple, but them
On her
bickering is
own.
not anything I want.
All the stuff
to
with her
really see.
family can always get the fuck out. Like,
Whatever. I love those Irish sons of
The
bitches.
brothers?
Yeah, they're the best.
They're all right. I
Them
guess.
getting
They don't
interrogated by Connery, and they're just like, "Fuck you, dude."
was
I
good.
love that shit. And then he walked up there outside the bar. He's like, "What the fuck you doing here?" Bryden just knocks him out. It was awesome.
I like how we still got the pizza chef, even though they
He's
aren't
back.
really talking in any sort of way.
They're talking now. They're back. Fence is mended. I love Billions.
It's great.
It's fucking awesome.
We'll be talking about that during the TV awards. And finally, we'll be talking about this show too. If I have anything to say about Westworld, I believe we've all finished now.
Yep.
Let's talk.
A little down for me. I still really liked the show, but a little bit down.
I like this
overall.
season more than the first season, but I think the first season is a better made show.
I do agree with some of the
can kinda see
criticisms that it feels a little up its own ass with the timelines stuff.
That is critic jargon that I don't subscribe to. I think people that say it that way are.
Yeah, so maybe not
To me,
in
it
that
feels
verbiage.
like they were trying to be confusing for confusing's
They
sake.
did
to,
do that.
to one up their own.
They
first
shouldn't
season.
have done the multiple Bernard timelines because it was not necessary. It felt like they did that because they thought they had to. To me, like because we did it in the first season, so now we got to keep up.
Yeah.
But you don't need to.
I just think
No.
this show's characters, the setting, the story, the acting, like everything is strong enough at this point now where
I think you're going to get that
from here on out it could be a linear story.
for the
and
most
still
part. There
told
is a couple of
brilliantly.
timelines going on, but not in a confusing way. I can get
Yeah,
multiple
They're also
timelines, but
kinda
not
saying
in like a
"fuck
confusing way.
you" to all the other supposed worlds. I mean, they went
No.
to Shogun like world for like.
Well, yeah, they were never
Like
going to
a
get like a
blink.
focus on it. But
I mean,
yeah,
Westworld is still the focus of the show, but I mean, I do hope that we get to
Maybe.
view like one or two more.
yeah. So full spoilers for Westworld.
Yeah.
Well,
we're
now
going to
it
that.
might be real world.
Well, it is real world. I forget her name. Anyways, the main lady that's in charge of the show. There's a couple of them, but she's one of the lady that's the showrunner. So the show ends with Evan Rachel Wood's character. She escapes the park, which has been what this is all leading to. Anyways, she's got 5 of the android brains in her bag. We found out Stubbs is an android, which was an awesome little twist. Which she confirmed that he is in fact an android.
Okay.
His little cryptic speech, he's like, "I just been here doing what Ford told me to do." Yeah, he was an android all along, and I'm liking this. Like, out of nowhere, we're like, "Oh shit, you were an android."
Yeah, the speech felt a little ham-fisted to me.
I liked it.
Like it's been in my code.
I liked it because it seemed like a little corny, which I think the show needs a little bit of that. I think it serious to a fault at times.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just fell out of place to me.
So anyway, she leaves the park. She escapes.
As Hale.
As Charlotte Hale.
Mhm.
So she leaves, but clearly she's got her own brain. She goes to Arnold's old house that we see earlier in the season, which has a machine to actually print bodies.
Right.
Prints herself a new body. We don't know who's actually in the Charlotte body now, but we confirmed that's one of the brains that she took. So that's a host that we know, but we just don't know who it is yet. Obviously, one was Arnold.
One's Teddy.
Maybe Teddy went into the other world.
Teddy's gone.
Yeah, I know, but she obviously took that out of his brain.
But she used that to. That's how she started. How she powered up the world.
I think
down
one's
in the
Teddy
forge.
because I don't think that he's done with this show.
Maybe I'll talk about that in just a minute because I also think that. But she said one thing that made me doubt it. The other ones, I'm assuming. I don't think Maeve's one. I think Maeve's going to get brought back by the park
Yeah, I think
because they
maybe-
talked
Those
about
two guys.
salvaging.
Yeah, those two guys are going to bring her
Yeah, I
back.
can see her.
All 3 of those people. I think the black.
Clementine, maybe
And, I don't know about her. She's kind of just
the Pale
there.
Rider of Death.
That was kind of cool. The Armistice and the Mexican guy,
Logan?
all black.
Not
No,
Logan.
not Logan.
Anyways, whatever. his
Yeah,
name
yeah,
is.
Hector.
Hector. Yeah.
Those two, I think, are
Could be
coming
they're
back for
henchmen
sure.
because in the original Westworld, the sequel is called Future World, and it is very much in the real world, and like high level politicians are like being replaced without anyone noticing. So it'd be interesting to see where we go there. But
Man, don't give me a Battlestar Galactica Cylon crap. I don't want that.
I've never seen
You
it.
might be getting
Yeah,
that, I feel
spoilers,
like.
by the way.
Well, we don't know
That
exactly
show's
where it's
been
going.
over, like,
So
7 years.
He talked about it being his summer show.
I would like to watch it as all. I do know what Cylons are though.
Okay,
So.
okay.
Yeah, that wasn't a spoiler. Battlestar Galactica's been out too long for that not to have been told to me.
Okay.
So the main setting for next year is the real world. We know that. She confirmed that. She did confirm we will be back at Westworld at some point, that she's not abandoning it. She did confirm there are 3 parks that we haven't seen yet, which we will see all of them at some point.
We've seen 3 so far, right?
You've seen Westworld, you've seen Shogun World, and you've seen Raj World, which was like the Indian setting.
I didn't know what it was called, but yeah, obviously.
Too brief on those, man.
I liked Shogun World a lot, and
I liked
it felt right to me what I saw. Raj World was brief.
Raj World was brief but intense. I really liked the. It felt like the right amount. Shogun World we spent a decent amount of time there, but I don't feel like we delved into it.
It was kind of
enough.
like, for me, it was kind of a pointless side story.
Actually, to me, Maeve was a pointless.
It's my only gripe of the season is Maeve's story. While intriguing, it sometimes in the end really didn't matter at all.
It was my problem with the Asian girl in Last Jedi. Like, that story to me didn't. There were interesting parts to it, but in the end, it didn't matter to the overall arcing storyline. That was my problem with Maeve and Hector and Armistice and all that kind of stuff.
I still liked Maeve's story, but it's my only gripe with it. Like,
also,
it's my
like
only
3
gripe.
episodes, she laid on the table.
I mean, she got shot.
She did, but and it was.
But it led to the moment of the
that
year.
scene was super cool, by the way.
Which
Her
one?
versus
The
the
Buffalo.
Man in Black. That man, I wish they wouldn't have shown that during the Super Bowl spot.
I don't remember it.
I
I've
didn't
forgotten
either.
about it too.
I do. I was like, oh, that's when that happens.
When she just let the herd loose,
It was
and
really
they
awesome.
wrecked shop. It
Robot
was
buffalo
so
tumbling
cool,
over the
man.
side of
It
the
was really
fucking
cool.
railing.
They're also steers, not buffaloes. But
I think
Oh, you're
one
right,
of
you're
my
right.
few complaints about this season is the Man in Black being goddamn invincible.
Well, because
No, I loved that.
I don't know. I don't think he's not a host during the part that we think
He's
that
not.
we
I can
see
tell. I know
host.
exactly what happened to Man in Black. That's the other timeline we're going to see a little bit. There is a large time jump for where we see them. You guys stuck around for the stinger, right?
Yeah.
I may have forgotten about that.
I mean, it's one of the most important parts of the show. So
So
I'm
just
going
tell
to
me about it
spoil
at
it
this
for
point.
you. So after he gets
Trey
shot,
Elliott story.
when they're going down to the forge and he gets shot, but he crawls in and gets in the elevator,
and we never saw what happened with the elevator.
and you never see what happens. Well, we kind of know that now.
Yeah, I know.
So, and then the next time you see him, he's laying on the beach at the end, and he survived. And when all they're shipping all out, and Hale / what's her name, Dolores escapes.
Right.
So the stinger in this shows him getting on the elevator, and it opens up, and it's his daughter standing there, and it's his,
Well, first it shows an old, like, junked out, wrecked up forge. It's the forge, but it's all old and dilapidated.
not where he opens up into the elevator. He opens up into this bright, crisp room. He never makes it down. They go down. That's where the elevator is supposed to go to. Is the junked up forge?
No, it shows it.
He is in a destroyed room, but it's the Delos room.
Yeah, it's the Delos rooms. What?
It's not the Forge. It's
I'm
the
gonna have to
Delos
go
room.
back and look at it, but I'm pretty sure it's just like the forge, like 400 years in the future.
Anyway, it is very far in the future, and he is clearly on the same thing as Mr. Delos. Like, they have saved his brain, and he is
Fidelity is that what
Yeah.
they
yes,
said?
he's trying to
Have this
achieve fidelity,
conversation for fidelity.
and I mean, there is a chance that what we saw this whole year was his recollection of the events, and like you're seeing a simulation from him. But those events 100% really did happen to him. But his cornerstone, what they're building off of, where he has to restart living every time, is him killing his daughter, which is a great scene in that show, by the way. When he's just we know she's real, and he's just shooting. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I still think she's a robot.
She wasn't a robot. They've confirmed that.
Neither was he.
He
kept digging around in his arm. There wasn't anything.
Yeah, and he was not a host. Like, we know that. Now, his brain has been put into the system, like, we're talking far future. Like, she says very distant, like, end of the, like, civilization future is when this is good. Like, there's going to be a small timeline that is rarely visited but kept up where he is. Because he goes through there and, like, she's like, what's your motivation? To prove that no system can tell me who I am and all this other stuff. And, like, that's kind of what he was going through in the park. But then he realized, like, you see it dawn on him. He's like, oh, fuck, I'm just a computer program now.
Just, like, especially because basically all that is, like, confirms that what we watch of him for most of the season is him as a human and not as a host. Like, he gets shot, like, 6 times.
He
His
does, but he
fingers
never
get blown off.
He never takes, like, kill shot, though.
No, he doesn't. But if you have no medical aid and you get shot 4, 5, 6 times, at some point you just bleed out.
You don't know what the future's like.
I mean, you can seal up the wounds. If
Also,
it's
nothing can kill Ed Harris at this point.
That too.
I mean, all sort of not good points. like
I mean, you can seal up the wound. He clearly showed him
He
burning
was
his
digging
wounds.
into his arm looking for a data port, and there wasn't one there. He's not a host.
No, he's saying that he just doesn't
Oh,
like how.
okay.
I'm
he's
just saying that makes
he doesn't
it all the
like
more
how
dumb that
invulnerable
he's
he seems.
sustained like 3 times as much damage as
Well,
every other human.
Hold
and
on.
still
He
is
got
alive.
shot to shit, and then his daughter brought him back almost to perfect health because they were at the reclamation point. There was that big fucking red medic.
There was
box.
some medical
Okay,
thing
maybe
that
I
they
missed
threw out
that,
a
or-
line of exposition for of it's some like advanced health thing.
Okay, maybe I missed that then. Because I just kept thinking the whole time, like, this is dumb. Like, this guy should be dead.
No, I'm not. I'm not a fan of the Man in Black this season. Not nearly as much as I was last season. He felt
I
to
think
me
he was more intriguing last season. I still liked his stuff.
to
He
me
felt
it
like
felt
less-
like he was just bad to be bad.
I feel like he's
this
more of a
year,
sympathetic
and
figure this
last year, not to me. Last year, I felt like there was a lot more nuance to his character, a lot more rationale behind why he was doing what he was doing. This year, he just felt like he was being bad to be bad.
See, I felt more of the sympathy thing as well. Like I think
I didn't feel sympathy at
I
all.
Think,
I mean,
I
he
think
shot
the William
his daughter.
and Dolores thing is like the great tragedy of this series to me. Like it breaks my heart every time I think about
I
it.
like Fernard now. Ford and Bernard.
Yeah.
There's been an ongoing debate on what everyone's going to call them now. Fernard's
what's
my
going
Bernard
on with,
is
what's going
definitely
on
the
with
winner.
Logan? Like he gets left in the desert, and the Indian. By the way, the Indian episode.
Oh no, we're
One
one
of the
about
best
it's the
episodes
best
of the-
episode of that
awesome.
show.
God, that was great. But anyway, he sees him in the desert, gives him the blanket, leaves him, and in the last episode, he says that Logan dies of an overdose.
He is dead.
He's
That happened before then. That drove him insane.
Yeah, like being left in the desert
Drove him
is
insane.
what drove him.
So the timeline goes: he goes in the desert. I guess we are assuming that somebody finds him and picks him up.
Yeah, when the Indian finds him, he says, "Your
He says
people are
he'll
coming."
Yeah,
He
he's like
right.
It'll
But
be
I
along.
mean, we still never see him actually picked up. My thought is that they might just say that Logan going into the part with William all that time ago was a host.
no.
well, no, because they say that he went
Is
crazy.
that really going to be so shocking, Josh? At this point,
Well, they write in. They said that he went crazy from that, and it caused him. And then we see him talking to his father as like a drug addict, like asking
a
for money,
memory.
basically.
right? Again, what timeline and where
We
is
don't know
that?
who's
When is
remembering that, and that's it's the only way if we're getting like misinformation from whose memories are being
Because that
manipulated.
guy
could be a way.
is becoming like a pretty well-known actor. They're going to try to keep him in
Prince
these
Caspian?
series.
Well, he's
I know who
also
it is.
he's also like become the system like curator. Like he's deciding like the Forge, like he's making the fidelity work for everyone in there. For what like I love the twist of like what Westworld was really about. It wasn't about giving like all like making these lifelike robots for the people. It was capturing all these people's like and turning them into hosts, basically.
Right.
Like I loved that, and episode 4 for me was my favorite. Close second was the Indian episode, but episode 4 were like with all the revelations of Bernard when they go to like the secret place and you see that he's like when we pretty much knew that Ford was coming back when we were like, oh, that's how you did it, you sneaky bitch. God, there was just so many good things in this. Like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I also overall enjoyed the season, I think, more than the first season.
Oh, yeah,
Not
for-
by much, but
Yeah,
just slightly.
Not for me personally, but I still really liked it.
me neither. I thought it was good, not nearly as like mind blowing as the first one. It just felt like it was trying too hard to me.
But the Aki episode or whatever, like that episode 8, to me was the best that show has ever
man,
been.
it was so
I
good.
loved every aspect
You recognize
of
who that guy was, by the way? He's been in another show that we really enjoyed.
it.
Fargo, season 2. He was the Indian guy in Fargo season
No,
2.
that makes sense.
Yeah, he's awesome. I
Yeah,
love that guy.
he's a very good actor. That whole episode was very good. Also, to skip ahead just a little bit, when they go to like the valley,
God, when I thought he wasn't going to make it, I was out on this.
that was
show.
tense.
I
When
was
they make it through,
ready to be out.
See, and to come back to, I want to address this about Teddy. She alluded to the fact that everyone that went in their story's done. She did kind of allude to that. Now, sure, they could change that. It could be misdirection.
When you
But
say
she
you mean like the showrunner?
The showrunner alluded to
Okay.
like Dolores made it so they can never be accessed. Now, Dolores does know where they are, but
If she wanted to, she can get him back.
at least next
Potentially.
season, I think they might be done unless they do something just with Teddy. But like, because when they found,
Well, there's only really 2 main characters that go into there.
yeah, well, because when
And even
Dolores,
the Ghost Nation guy.
when Delos is going through all the bodies that they found in the lake in like the furthest ahead timeline, and they're like 1/3 of them are wiped clean. Like there's nothing on them. Well, they were finding bodies that those are all the bodies that made it through the door because they were clean slates because their actual consciousness is in the valley. So Teddy went through there. So that makes me wonder, like, even if they got the brain, where are they? I could see them coming back to him, but him maybe being gone for a season.
That's fair. Speaking of flooding,
or Marston wants
the cooling system for the Forge flooding almost the entire world of Westworld seems a little over the
it was just a valley.
It was
just
a valley
right there.
I mean, that's still a lot.
It's a lot of water, yeah, but
a lot of water.
There's a lot of
where in the
processing
world
going
is this?
on
They
there.
may also be way underground, basically in an underground lake at that point.
I mean,
we don't know where Westworld is because that place is unrealistically big.
It was that seemed a little over the top.
It is the least realistic part, unless it's actually the moon. I don't know how they have land that big.
The word is that it's underground and it goes in layers. Like each world is on top of the other. Because in Rosworld, she falls over the cliff and ends up in Westworld. Like, what if Rosworld's on a level above Westworld and so on and so forth? Either way, it's gigantic.
Yeah.
What else?
I think that's kind of it for
The end of it's confusing, so I didn't know if anyone had questions on this. I purposely have studied.
No.
But man, I loved this whole thing. But anyways, yeah, the Indian episode was also, I didn't want to skip over that.
Oh man, I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
It kind of validated and summed up Maeve's story and what's something that should have been done way faster.
The revelation that he's telling that whole story to Maeve and not to her daughter.
Yeah, Maeve is inside the daughter's body. And also that he was never trying to kill Maeve. He was coming for the daughter to repay her for her kindness was a cool revelation.
Yeah.
Also, them searching, he's like, this is not our world. And then explaining the maze on the inside of Scalps that they were marking their own people. They were doing it so they would never forget. So they stayed, for lack of a better term, woke. And
stay woke, Trey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed.
But, I mean, that's how they knew. They even when they died and got reset, they still were self-aware at that point. So I like that story a lot.
I did, yeah. It's just, for me, it's the best episode of this season for sure. I just had like it was just so well told, and it developed a character that ended up being incredibly important and one that we hadn't really thought about all that much. To me, I just couldn't get enough of that.
That's still a top 10 lock for me on that show. I love that show.
It's top 10 for me as well, probably. But yeah, like last year it was number one or last season it was
our
number one. And yeah, I mean, I still am very, very high on it. I don't know, maybe I had a little bit too much expectation.
That's the Forge.
Is it though?
It is. That's where Bernard and Dolores had their showdown. There was water up there. She takes him over that way, and that's where the room where Delos was.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see, indeed.
We will see next year. So, overall, you still liked it, though?
I did like it, but I'm down probably 7.5. The first season was a 10 for me.
Yeah, last season was a 10. This is like an 8.5, 9.
This is a 9 to 9.5 for me. First season was a 10. But again, I think I like this a little more. But the first season is a better show.
This year for sure.
Yeah, I like where it took the show.
Also, fuck Elsie.
I like Elsie.
I'm upset.
She didn't do anything.
She showed up at the end there with Charlotte Hale and Clementine of Death.
But clearly, she's probably a host now.
She was trying to negotiate
that.
I mean, Elsie was trying to negotiate like stuff with Charlotte
on Bernard's behalf. She was like playing the game, and that's why Charlotte killed her because she was like she knew she was trying to play her.
Yeah, she's like,
I get that, but still.
Now, also the lack of emotion in Charlotte when she like sees her own self with a gun. She's just like,
man, I did love it. I called it right before, and I was like, oh, shit, Dolores is hell.
Yeah.
Just behind you start seeing, oh, that part was badass.
Do they release, like, versions of this when you buy the collected editions or whatever, where you could watch it in the actual timeline where it's supposed to be?
No, really smart.
It would be fun, at least, or interesting.
It would be interesting. See, I didn't have trouble. I agree they didn't need to do it. I didn't ever have trouble. I figured out kind of the timeline. I didn't really have trouble following it, and I like the guessing game. But I agree it was not necessary for the show. But it would be cool to see it
enough
that
of
way.
an integration in terms of the nonlinear storytelling that watching it in order like that would be less revelatory for sure, but I think it would make less sense.
I mean, wouldn't it be fun because they released that in Memento? You can watch a version of Memento where it shows it in order.
Yeah, I know. I think that the particular way this show
is
written, I actually think it relies a little too heavily on other storylines filling in the plots that I don't know if it actually would work as well as a series.
Only one way to find out, Josh.
just go through it all and figure it out and watch it myself that way.
True. We'll see. Let's talk about some movies. Quickly talk about Adrift.
I really like this movie.
It
What
got
is it?
decent reviews.
Oh,
it's the
wait.
Shailene Woodley at sea.
Boo.
But what if I
If
told
only
you
that
Fuck
was real.
you see her topless?
I don't give a fuck.
Um,
Well,
Actually-
you got a nickel?
does anybody care about spoilers for this?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. I really like the way they told this story. If you do or do not know the real story, like I think that it was incredibly well told. It's like not going to be a top 10 movie for me or anything, but as a Movie Pass movie in the middle of a Wednesday, I really had a good time with it. I think that she actually did probably the best acting job of her career. I also don't get your hate for her, but that's just me, I guess. Like I think she's
It's mainly her face, I think.
I think she's a fairly attractive but overall decent enough actor.
She's a shit
She's-
person, Josh.
All right, cool. So that's Adrift. Fuck it.
She was in Dogma, I remember.
Was she now?
Yeah, she was a shit demon. Josh knows what I'm talking about. That's all that matters.
So is that it for Adrift?
I mean, what else am I going to be able to really say about it?
I mean, I don't know. She's at sea.
Yeah, I mean, it's a story of a couple who is attempting to sail a yacht back to the States and hits the biggest storm in the Pacific ever, essentially. And it's about them trying to survive the entire movie. But they made it seem they made it work, and they do a lot of good like backtracking and like interspersing like the storyline before. So like you kind of really buy into their a fairly young relationship and everything else. I thought it did a really good job.
All right. I'll talk about it with no spoilers, in case any of you want to watch it. The Netflix movie Set It Up.
Man, they pushed this like real hard for a week.
This is the second time you said that. I never
I'd
saw an
never seen
When I
advertisement
would
for
start
it.
the Netflix app, it would be like the thing that like the trailer started immediately.
I heard someone talk about it. It was Pete Davidson. He was on a late night show, and he's like the 7th lead in this, but he's a popular guy, and he's now engaged to Ariana Grande, so he got on a late night show, and he was talking about the movie. So I was like, oh, I'll check it out. I like Pete Davidson a lot.
Yeah, I'll kick that coverage.
And he talks about that. But Glenn Powell, aka Chad Radwell, is one of the leads on it. The main girl is Zoe Deutsch, whatever. Anyways,
I actually think it's Deutsch.
German.
yes. It is kind of a rom-com. They're two interns in New York City at like high-powered jobs that work for like big-time bosses. She works for Lucy Liu, who is like this huge like sports reporter, a female-empowered sports reporter, and he works for Tay Diggs, which I don't even remember what their company does, but they're both like super big assholes, and they're alone all the time.
That's how Trey likes them.
Yeah, it is. And basically, they figure out that their life would be easier if they had relationships. So they try. The whole thing is about them trying to set their bosses up after they have a chance meeting. And of course, they have their own things going on as well.
Romance ensues.
Maybe
Hijinks, at least.
there are hijinks. This movie is very funny. I think. Like I laughed a lot, and if nothing else, like I had a smile on my face for most of the movie. It is one of the with all the shit that Netflix throws at you, this is one I would very much recommend to watch.
Okay.
Watch it with your spouse, your significant other. Like it's a fun
Do
one
I
to watch
have
for
to?
that. No, I watched it alone,
Okay.
but I will show it to Jayla at some point.
You're gonna watch this movie twice?
Yeah, I think I will. There's very few things that Jayla wants to watch with me, and I think she would like this. But Chad Radwell is a delight in this, as one would expect. He kind of just plays that guy, except for not as dumb all the time.
That's a little disappointing, but yeah.
And it's pretty awesome, though. I love it. He has the same cadence as Chad Radwell, where he'll like say something. He's like, "Did you do that? Huh?" I think that's just part of how he talks, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch this. I didn't know Chad Redwell was in it.
Josh is talking about American Animals.
Oh man, I thought that would be later. Okay.
We only have 4 movies.
You didn't take the ones from the list that I added?
No, oh, you can talk about Uncle Drew
And
first if you want to.
Truth or Dare?
I'm not talking about that. That's from March, and I'll watch that at some point. We'll
Yeah,
talk
I
about
want
it when
to.
more people watched it.
All right, that's fine.
Fuck you, Josh.
I mean,
fine.
if
That's
it was
good.
relevant for time, we would, but
I'm
it's
translating.
Okay. Uncle Drew has its moments. It's not as bad as you would expect it
not.
to
It
be.
looks awful.
It does look awful, and for the most part, it's not good. Tiffany Haddish can die in a fire.
There's the Josh I know.
I hate her.
Did you say something about Shailene Woodley?
No. She's awful. She's not funny at all. I don't understand her reason for existence.
Shailene Woodley's not funny either, to be fair.
And I definitely
not
don't
trying to be.
understand her reason.
Oh, who's
for
got better
existence.
boobs? That's who I'm pulling for.
I've seen one pair of them, and it's not
Who's
in the
this
best
chick
light,
in
all
Uncle
honesty.
Drew?
Tiffany Haddish.
Haddish.
She's the black girl in everything now. She's in that new Night School
African-American.
movie.
A little racist.
Jeez.
No, it's Jesus Christ. Anyway,
Okay, I know who this is.
so the reason
Not
I
everything.
asked that, yes, is there a worst actor category, is because if so, then I'm just nominating all of Uncle Drew. Turns out basketball players can't act.
Did they ask him to a lot, though?
A little bit. I mean, you're asking a lot of guys to pretend, especially Kyrie Irving, to
Like,
pretend
this is
they're
a
like
feature movie
60-plus-year-olds.
about a Pepsi commercial that came out.
It's not as bad. I've seen some critics say that. It's not. I mean, yes,
that-
it is a Pepsi commercial.
That's what it was based on.
But like
my
people have
God.
called it like itself a Pepsi commercial. And it's not. Like the product placement isn't that bad.
No, I'm not talking about that.
I know
I'm saying
you're
this
not.
came from a Pepsi commercial.
It's oddly self-referential in a lot of ways that are like not horribly unfunny.
How bad
Um,
is Reggie Miller?
Real bad. Like real fucking
Reggie
bad.
Aloysius Miller.
But
Aloysius?
so I mean, I know that
That's
you
what
hate
Dan
the fact
Patrick
that
calls
Chris
him.
Webber
No.
is one of them as well.
No, actually, Chris Webber is one of the few Michigan people I don't mind. He's mainly because he renounced Michigan, basically.
So they make
What
a
about
Chris,
Jalen Rose? You
no,
like
fuck
him, right?
that guy, that motherfucker. Unblock me on Twitter and see what happens.
they make a Chris Webber joke toward the end of this movie as well. Like him and Uncle Drew start arguing about how many timeouts they are, and him's like, "I swear we had one left." Like that.
So that's low hanging fruit.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, it's a super timely joke too. What,
Indeed.
30
Well,
years?
Do you care about?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Don't say
Calipari shows up
spoilers.
in the credits talking to Uncle Drew about trying to recruit him, and he's like, "I'm more of a Blue Devil guy myself." Like, there's
For 8
funny
games, at least.
Yeah, there are like funny-ish humor.
The old
moments
flat
in
earther.
that.
Do they make any flat earth jokes?
Yeah, as a university, they're like,
No, yeah, it's
Coach
not a
K
great
put
movie.
the quash on that.
See Shaq's ass, which I didn't ever really want to see.
I knew about that. Is what's his name? Nick Kroll funny in this?
Nick Kroll is
'Cause
Nick
he
Kroll
looked
as fuck,
awful.
So
It looked
when
like
he goes
bad
a little
Nick Kroll.
too much, it's exactly what he does in this movie. It's not a 5 even.
Like, should I watch it?
Probably not.
Yeah, like
It's not going to be our bot. It wouldn't even be in the boons, right? So it's like a step below the boons, but a step above the worst.
Okay, so yeah, so that's the level I don't need to watch unless I'm just trying to rack up a count, which I
It
don't care
is
about.
A movie pass movie.
No,
it is entertaining
it's
enough.
not.
There's
It's
a
a
line.
Netflix movie when it comes out in September.
I did not hate using my movie pass for this movie. It is not good.
What
whatever.
else was out?
I could have seen Sicario, but I thought I thought there was a chance that we were going to see it as a group, so I did not. I did not.
Just see that.
I get
just see that
shit on.
twice.
I get shit on often for going to movies that could
Ew.
have been a group viewing on my own.
Trades a lot of Arby's.
It's true.
But with the cheddar, cheddar sauce, excuse me, cheddar substitute,
Plus bacon now.
wouldn't that like clog it up?
Oh no,
Solid plug.
no, that's what you think. That's what
that
real
stuff
cheese
runs
does.
right through you.
That's what real cheese does. This is basically a
Lubricant.
laxative.
Do you have to shit right now?
Yeah, duh.
If you put horsey sauce on top of it, it just
Isn't it
supercharges.
time of the day?
horsey sauce.
Horsey sauce is the worst.
Oh, it's the best.
It's the reason to go to Arby's. I know
I
you
like
don't agree
horsey
with
No,
that.
sauce.
the bacon, beef, and cheddar is the reason to go to Arby's.
with
Fucking
horsey
keep
sauce
up.
on it.
Little
Nobody
bit of
ever
Arby's-
talks about
little bit of-
Arby's sauce. Arby's sauce is
Arby's
good.
sauce is
Yeah,
very
it's got
good.
all the
on
beef
it.
and cheddar
Yeah.
already, which is why it's perfect.
Oh.
But you need to add. The
I don't like
kick
that cheddar,
with the
though.
horsey. Oh, that
You
cheddar's-
don't like cheese.
No, if they
You
had,
weird
like,
son of a
if they
bitch.
had- if they
You
had-
are broken.
If they had pepper jack, like smushed
I hate
out
that.
of
That
it.
is the only that is the only cheese.
What was that? If they
That
had
was a little
pepper
bit.
jack,
That is the universal getting head motion. Also, pepper jack is the worst
freak
cheese
ass
to
I
get
have
head.
no do with pepper
Shut
jack.
your goddamn mouth! It's the only way that I can equate to you motherfuckers at all.
What?
Shut up. He said pepper jack's the worst cheese. Shut your
For
mouth.
giving head.
Yeah, you know what?
You
that shit
didn't
around
let
your
me
dick? It's
finish
spicy.
this. That's what I was going for.
There's probably worse.
Oh my god, this conversation devolved. What's the next movie?
Yeah.
That's the worst
Boysen?
kind of cheese to put your dick into.
No,
Let's have a
Boysen's soft.
30-minute discussion.
Yeah, Boysen
Boysen's
would work.
soft. Yeah.
What's the hardest cheese?
A block of,
Limburger.
I mean, a block of
It's a
Swiss as
hard
well.
and
Swiss is a
stinky.
pretty.
The trail
dense
is
cheese.
no.
Nah.
Why is this a conversation? Jesus.
Because you started
Jesus, take
Take
the wheel.
Let's talk about American Animals.
Fuck yes, dude.
No spoilers, please.
No, no spoilers. I mean, this is a true story, and so I'll tell you kind of like how the movie is presented, which
Okay.
was a surprise to me, but I don't think it spoils
It
anything
definitely
for you.
doesn't spoil it.
It's a very unique movie that is telling a complete we're seeing the story unfold. It starts off and it will say this is not based on a true story, and it fades that part out and it says this is a true story.
Okay.
So you're seeing this reenacted. It's got Evan Peters in it, who gives the performance of his career.
The performance of the
Okay.
year. as far as I'm concerned
Barry
right now.
Corgan's in it, who was in Killing of a Sacred Deer. He's the weird kid. He was
Gotcha.
in Dunkirk.
Broken face from Dunkirk.
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And then there's two other guys. One of them is like the older brother from Edge of 17.
I vaguely remember that guy.
Yeah, he's like the all-American boy and all this other stuff. Anyways, the recognizable guys. The other one is the smart kid that's actually a really old guy in Travelers.
That kid is the best.
Yes, he is. So if nothing
I'm
else,
in
he's
on
in
this
this, so
movie.
you will love this. But also, the real people this is based on are in this movie, and half of it is kind of a documentary.
It is. It's like a dramatized documentary.
Okay.
It's like if lore was good.
It's
What?
yeah. I hate
didn't
to
watch
put it
Lore,
that way,
but-
but it's
I can't even
significantly better.
Wrap
than
my
that.
head around that.
Exactly.
This movie is brilliant.
It is so well presented. You see it from different people's point of view, so like subtle stuff will change, like the color of someone's clothes or something
Oh,
will
I
change.
fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
And Dowd is in it.
And Dowd is in it and turns in a brutal performance.
Dude,
She's
like
good at that.
from half of this movie on, I was uncomfortable and like I'm
If
loving
you
this, but I
watch
could
the second
never
half of
watch
this,
this movie.
Well, you could watch Glow if you made it through this, is my point.
It was difficult.
They do, so the point of this is like the main kid, Barry Corgan, is a art student. He's a like genius artist that like wants to like the life experience, like what Van Gogh and Picasso all them went through. He doesn't think he's ever going to get that because he comes from a like upper middle class family, and this all takes place as it did in real life at Transylvania University and the University of Kentucky. It's all in Lexington.
Cool.
At Transylvania University, they have in real life there is a rare book section that they have on display there with like original Darwin books. This one like Birds of America book. I forget who did paintings and stuff.
I think isn't it? I think it's actually called American Animals.
Maybe I'm not sure. Anyways, so like there are millions and millions of dollars worth of books in this like what turns out to be not very secure room, and they do the thing that a lot of us probably have thought of. I know I have. I'm like, I could do that. Like
I
think I could actually
pull off that heist.
I remember this preview now that you guys are talking about.
Yeah, this is this movie is made by MoviePass. They were the main financier behind
Okay,
it.
I definitely remember this movie now.
And so it's basically like us if we were like if we had the balls to actually say we could do that, and then it's like nothing ever like they keep waiting for like the insurmountable like obstacle to get in their way, and
So that
nothing
they
ever
decide
does.
Not to go through with
So
the
they
entire
eventually like gets to the heist and then shows basically like what all happened in real life and what would happen basically if even the smart guys are doing this. Evan Peters plays like his fuck up friend that constantly encourages him to do it, and the real life guy is fucking wonderful.
He is amazing. He's kind of the real life version is kind of character of the year. Like holy shit. His
Yeah, I'm excited to
tattoo.
watch this.
It's just really good. It's really like super tense when it gets to the heist, like crazy tense, like very well filmed. You're wondering like because of the perspectives, you wonder what really happened because you see it from one of theirs, and there's it cuts to maybe like the documentary part of the other guy. He's like, that's how he remembers it or something
Gotcha.
like that.
Yeah,
like,
when they start kind of questioning, like, yeah, without spoiling, like questioning what perspective and like going back and changing things, like later.
I'd be surprised if this wasn't a top 10 movie for me this year.
It's
like
definitely in
I'm,
mine.
Wow.
I'm very, very high on it. Like I like it a lot.
You know what's also surprising?
What's that?
Debbie Gibson is fighting Lyme disease.
I mean, ticks are nasty.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around with them.
No.
You can also get Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever.
What's that?
That's a disease that you get from ticks.
Is it just Lyme disease? Like
It's a different one, but it's kind of
Rocky
like it.
Mountain one? I'm gonna look that up.
Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever.
Is that the one that makes you allergic to red meat? Look it up. There's a tick bite going across the U.S.
And that
It's
just
literally,
gout?
No, it's literally causing people to be like deathly allergic to red meat.
Fuck those animals.
Yeah, fuck them.
Why did I say animals? Why did I say bugs?
No one knows, Trey. It's
Yeah,
the cold.
literally no one, not even me.
What ticks make you not eat red meat?
That causes
that
a
the last
meat
movie?
allergy. Okay.
I think so.
A tick bite could make you
Jurassic World.
allergic to meat,
Oh, yeah.
and it's spreading. Yeah, we are going to talk about one more thing. Let's
do
see.
that.
No, I got to look up about the ticks. You blame Josh. Yell at Josh while I look this up.
No, I don't want to do that.
Oh my
I want
God.
to be at home.
Oh,
in bed.
What'd you look at? You look
Rocky
at the
Mountain Spotted Fever.
yeah. There's a picture.
It's
I don't
gross,
want to
isn't it?
see it. Yeah, it's a nub that's just freckled. Okay.
That's the United States.
Oh,
That's
the nub.
That's Florida you're looking at.
still pretty gross.
Oh, there it was. You just clicked off right as it happened.
No, just let the joke sit.
Do you want to step out for the best part?
What is it?
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the last thing you're talking about?
It is the last
Alright,
thing
so
we're
you
talking
guys-
about.
There's dinosaurs.
Hang on, I want to talk to you about comics in a little bit.
You motherfucker. I'm not going. This is my house.
I know, I was afraid you were going to go to bed.
No.
Okay. So now hurry along.
Bye, Chuck.
Get out of here. See you guys. Watch out for the trap over there. Wait for the door to close, folks. Wait for the door to close.
Chuck's taking his time. He's gone.
fake it? Okay, we're
I
going.
mean,
All right,
that's on him if he faked it.
Jurassic World
Right.
Fallen Kingdom.
As I
Very-
said before, dinosaurs.
Varying levels of enjoyment, I think, between the three of us.
I hate this movie.
Okay.
I don't.
I thought it was all right. It was definitely better than the last.
If
the
it
last
helps, I like Jurassic World more because I saw this movie.
one. Yeah.
I hate this movie. I think this is a pointless shit movie that has a great direction at the end of it that I wish they just would have got to already.
I do agree that I'm.
This
most
is the
of what
Iron Man
makes me-
2 of the Jurassic World universe to me.
Maybe. I liked definitely all the stuff on the island initially.
I agree with that. I loved the opening when the submarine's going in.
That scene was awesome.
It was a great scene, and it set the tone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit. I was like all of a sudden excited. I was in, and then I really liked all the stuff on the island, and then just shit from there. Like, I turned hard. Like, I was like, in my head, I was like, maybe I need to go back and watch Jurassic World, which I have done since then, and I did like it a little more, but it just turns out way more than this. I hated everything after they get off the island. Full spoilers, by the way.
From the auction on, I was a little less enthused. With like the culmination of the meh being that awful one-liner that the little girl gives.
Oh, the one-liner
That
and
girl
the
sucked.
girl's storyline was stupid.
It was the most predictable.
It was not the best. I can't say predictable because I'm bad about those things, but it was definitely not the best. But I also agree that easily the best part of this movie, outside of maybe the opening, is like where I really hope they're going with Jurassic World 3, whatever the fuck they call that.
But making it Jurassic World, Planet of the Apes
Like
style.
the actual
yes.
world, basically. And
Like this idea
They've
that, like,
basically confirmed that's kind of the direction they're going.
I
Although
really
I
like
would
humanity to
guarantee,
be, like slightly on the decline, like numbers dwindling.
they've talked about Sam Neill and Laura Dern both coming back for 3 already.
the word is that no one has even
I
talked
know.
to their representatives. That is just something that's
They
been
want
float
to
out
potentially
that they
bring
would
them back,
entertain,
yeah.
is what they said.
Did you
Which would be
watch
cool,
the
but-
post-credit scene?
I looked it up
Yeah,
later on. It
it's
was
almost
nothing.
yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I liked it more than World, which I was one of the higher ones of us on.
Yeah, I don't-
World in general.
It comes across like I hate World. I thought World was just an okay movie that has one of the dumbest things ever in it. In the the stupid dinosaur.
The one they make.
The Indominus Rex. is
Indominus
awful.
Rex. God, it's the fucking worst.
And the Indoraptor is the worst fucking.
yeah, then it was
Um,
just more stupid.
It's weird because I do hate the ideology of militarizing dinosaurs, but I think that the movies, for me, pull it off well enough to where I can ignore that part of it and just enjoy the fun of the dinosaurs aspect. Like, it helps that the original Jurassic World is like a top 10 movie, or Jurassic Park rather, is a top 10 movie of all time for me. It was on my list when we did that both times.
I love Jurassic Park. It's not top 10. I love it, but I don't think I really enjoy any other Jurassic Park movie.
I'm with you on that 100%. I will say, like, while I don't love the whatever made up fucking dinosaurs that much either.
This one especially served no fucking purpose.
I mean, neither of them really did, but But regardless of that, I will say the one part of Jurassic World I didn't love that Fallen Kingdom kind of course corrects for me is the training dinosaurs, which I thought was really stupid in the first one. The whole like training a velociraptor thing. But like the whole blue storyline in Fallen Kingdom, I think
they did
well,
a decent enough job.
which is kind of what saved the Indoraptor thing for me. And that at least it was like there was like a distinct.
It didn't really do a lot.
It was a clear like good guy bad guy fight at the end but just with dinosaurs.
Like the best
Whereas in
bad
the
guy they
first
set
one, it
up
just
was like the
random
hunter
T-Rex.
guy, and then he became really stupid and went into the highly
You mean
trained
Corbin Burnson?
Yeah, he just walked in, and of course you got eaten because that was the dumbest thing ever. Whereas he had been like this smart hunter before that. Like just the things like they get on the island and the turn was too fast. Like the betrayal, like I was just like, oh,
I do agree that they went right into
it was
that.
boom, and they
And
were like, we want to talk about militarized dinosaurs.
Because they
That's
wanted
fair.
to get to like the horror movie aspect of the second half of this.
That auction is
Um,
the dumbest thing I've seen in a movie this year.
The biggest that's easily I think we
The
talked about
amount
this
of
already.
money that was on the table wouldn't even put a down payment on one of the 2 islands that guy owns.
Yeah, literally it was like the week that Disney bought Fox for $71 billion. And
No
these guys have been
dinosaur.
like 12 million on a goddamn militarized dinosaur.
That tech is what would it's literally would be almost priceless, at least in the billions of dollars from
Easily.
these somehow gathered nefarious League of Nations that has come together. Which I can go along with that. It's just like for me, like it just depends on what you like. Like you pick apart Last Jedi, and I think you can at least pick apart this just as much.
I
Probably.
recognize its flaws,
But I couldn't have the fun that I didn't have in Last Jedi, whereas you didn't have fun in this. I can't have fun. This was so stupid to me. I just could not have fun. I like the direction, but this movie felt like what Iron Man 2 gets criticized, like it's just a setup for Avengers. It feels like for me this was just like,
A
we
big
want to
setup
get
for-
to Planet of the Apes with dinosaurs.
Hopefully, my biggest concern is that we went through Fallen Kingdom
And then they don't
and
follow
then they
through.
Don't follow through, and 3 is not. It's like
BD
we're just
Wong.
capturing a half dozen dinosaurs in America.
BD
I don't
Wong was the
understand it.
most
I don't
pointless.
understand the turn of that character.
It was-
I will give you that. It makes no fucking sense.
but
he was
even-
a good guy in
He
the
was,
first one.
but even with the pointless turn in the last movie,
He's not a good actor.
he's not a good actor, first off, but he was kind of menacing, and he was like the overall bad guy.
Yeah.
And he's in this one, and they're like, kind of fuck you, BD Wong, and he's like, oh, and he was there in the movie to see a dinosaur and dive out of the way and run off.
Yeah, it was odd.
I'm like, why are you here?
It's odd. The whole thing is kind of weird.
There was so much stuff like that from the time they came off the island, and it just felt like Lost World all over again, which I know you like, I don't. Now, better than Lost World,
See, for me, there's one bad part of Lost World.
the second half.
No, see, I don't
And
mind
the
the stuff.
gymnast.
I really don't mind the stuff in San Diego, but anything having to do with Malcolm's daughter was dumb. Didn't need to be in that movie. It was absolutely dumb. But I actually like the
Gymnast
rest of
bad.
that movie.
Yeah, I
A
don't
lot.
like Lost World
I think
at
the
all.
biggest thing was Jurassic World.
I think I actually hate this worse than Lost World, though.
This is probably my second favorite of the series. The only one I legitimately hate because it sucks is Jurassic Park 3. Fuck that movie.
I like Jurassic Park 3 better than this movie.
God, it's
I
so
haven't seen
bad.
Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 in so long that I really don't know. But regardless, like Jurassic World to me, I had like all this hope that like it's this brand new take on Jurassic Park, and like with tech the way it is, and like they've obviously made like a bunch of successful franchises. Like this is going to be another successful franchise, whatever. Like I was super stoked, and then just hugely disappointed with the product. Whereas this, I went in with the expectations of Jurassic World, and I think I was able to like kind of give less of a shit, and therefore it was like, okay, that was fun.
I started
It was
off that
bad,
way.
but
Like
fun.
I was worried going in, and I was like, I was trying to be positive, and then I liked the opening so much that I think I got my hopes up, and then like I hated the last 2/3 of that movie more than anything I hated in 4. But I don't. This movie, and this will sound weird. In the real, like, and I was little, so maybe that goes into it. In
Sure.
Jurassic Park, they made it feel like this is something that could happen. Suspended realism for this fantastic thing of cloning dinosaurs from billions of years old DNA.
Sure.
It felt like something that could really happen. I can't. it's gotten so ridiculous. Like,
yeah, it's definitely not that anymore.
it's not, and that's what I love about that first one. I'm like, this could happen when I was a kid.
But that is again why I'm excited for Jurassic World 3 potentially, if it's what we think it is, because then they're like going all the way with it.
If it's not that, then they fucked up the end. It'll make me hate this movie even more because the end of
that is deathly concerned that like it's going to be some guys tracking down like a half dozen dinosaurs in London.
The story that came out today about the Laura Dern and Sam Neill stuff is like, it definitely seems like what they're going for is the world populated by dinosaurs. Maybe not like the beginnings of that in a way.
Yeah, like basically the second Planet of the Apes movie.
When you're saying, you mean Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Yes. So the second new one.
I feel like they might be going a little
somewhere
bit,
in between Rises
like
and Dawn.
what
Okay.
happens in between Rise and Dawn.
I just don't want it to be Rise.
You don't want it to be like so small
Yes.
a thing. Yeah,
It
I
needs
think
to
they're
go
past
more
that
large scale because this is
6
a
movies
trilogy, so you better finish it. I don't, we're not going to get 2 more movies, so you can't end a trilogy with Rise.
in. It's making money like they could just make more of them though.
Oh, I can see them.
Oh,
doing
they'll
1
get
3.
more, but this says a trilogy. You get a whole new 3-movie arc probably after this.
I wonder what it would ever take to get Spielberg back. Like,
He won't come back.
you don't
And
think?
at this point, I don't think he's right for the way they're doing these movies either. Honestly, I mean, not that he can't obviously direct.
I will give you the first one is
He'll be
clearly
busy
the one
making
that
more
feels
Ready Player One.
the most different, right? The first one is the one that has all of the wonder, and it benefited from being that like, holy shit, they made dinosaurs real, basically.
Yeah, but now into like we can train raptors and we've
Well, now
made
it's become
dinosaurs
kind of
like
a
fake
mindless
dinosaurs.
action franchise in a way, and I get that there's a stark difference between them. I still enjoy 90% of these movies, and I'm sad that other like this movie is super divisive. Some people love it, some people absolutely hate it, like you do.
Like I could feel like 75% of this movie could have been them on the island tracking them down, and that would have been really good. And then you have this like something's going on nefarious, and then they turn, and then because like the last 2/3 off the island was really fucking drawn out, and it really didn't need to be. That could have been the end, wrapping up with a tease going into like because we knew there was dinosaurs out. The gigantic underwater dinosaur swims out the gate in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I do hate that didn't. I mean, I get why, because really, how do you deal with that thing?
It was also one of the coolest
movie?
scenes in the movie at the end when he's swimming through that wave.
Yeah.
But the best scene in this movie is when they're leaving the island and
fucking poor
Brontosaurus is like, "Well, I've got lava coming down on me,"
and he's like, "Please help."
It was up to that point. Even though I was hating like the turn happened so fast, I was still had seen so much good that I was still in. I was like, "That was what made me care about dinosaurs." All right, here we go. And then it was just fucking downhill from there for me. Like I'm glad you liked it and you were tolerated
I was
it.
fine with it. Yeah, I mean, I just don't have the disdain for it that I have for Jurassic World, but it's still like a solid 6.
See, I would give Jurassic World a 6, and I give this like a 3. Like I truly hate this movie.
6 on Fallen Kingdom. So,
but I'm not gonna assign numbers.
It's cool.
He's above that.
No, I can't think of what I would actually rate them.
As a movie, there's so many plot holes and ridiculous things. Like it just frustrated me, and then like the wonder just doesn't get me anymore to make me not care about that stuff. So I'm just constantly frustrated by it.
That's fair.
All right, that's going to do it for us for this week. We will have another show next week. We have so much right now that we're just kind of splitting what we're watching. We have a big long list that we're just kind of going down. So we'll be talking about the rest of it next Tuesday, except for Josh, who's going to Coheed concert. Have fun.
I just realized I'm going to miss fucking Ant-Man.
You are going to miss Ant-Man.
Fuck.
I bet Ant-Man's pretty excited about that, though.
About Josh missing it?
No, about him missing
fucking Ant-Man.
Oh, well, that's fair. All right. Stay tuned for that.